Hello, my little Ems and Ems. So welcome back to another video, and I am so sorry that it has been a while since I have done a video, but I've been super busy with family, working out, and work, of course. And I've been trying to come up with some new content that I've been wanting to do, and still a work in progress, but we'll get there, sis. Before I jump into the video today, it's freaking like doomsday here in Utah today, because I think I've mentioned that in a video. I live in Utah, and it is kind of a little freaking scary. It's been like dust storms. Like I was out on a drive earlier today, and it was like a dust storm, and like the clouds are super low, and like the wind is blowing super hard, and it's really weird for Utah to have like, well, especially in my area where I live, it's very rare that we get like crazy storms like this. So it's a bit worrisome. So if you hear rumbling in the background, it's just thunder. And I have no idea what that was if you heard that. I have been hearing some really freaking weird rumbling today. Like Utah has been like very overdue for an earthquake for like hundreds of years. I am scared for my existence if you can hear that. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I suffer from anxiety. If you have not watched my previous videos. Could be an airplane, could be a train, because I live right by a train. So, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Or is it Area 51, the aliens escape? Hello? Anyway. But, back to what I was going to talk about today. So today is a bit of a more serious, kind of a talk and situation, stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about eating disorders because I'm a person that does suffer from an eating disorder, and I think it's kind of a good time to come out with this because of Shane Dawson's video that had just come out about like Eugenia Cooney and all that situation. Now, before I get into this video, I am 100% happy that Shane Dawson did this video because I really feel like it for me personally, it really opened up my eyes that there are two sides to every story. Now, the reason I say this, I loved Shane Dawson's video, and I'm not trying to talk down on it at all. And it is a very sensitive subject because when people are ill with a eating disorder, it is very hard for them to see that they have a problem. And in his video, I know everyone has already said this, but he did make it seem very happy, fluffy, you know, oh, she's looking better, she's looking healthier, has that healthy glow. But just seeing Eugenia Cooney, it was very hard because I could tell she was very closed. She didn't want to talk about anything, and I really feel like but I don't want to talk for her, you know? I don't know if Eugenia Cooney has healed from this and she's just very shy, and I don't know if she's still dealing with this. But to me, it just seemed like she is not better. And now, getting back to what I was talking about, how I have an eating disorder. Now, I know everyone has labeled an eating disorder as either anorexia or bulimia, and that's like a very like stereotype, but there are so many eating disorders. Like I probably couldn't even name them all, but there, you know, is anorexia, bulimia, and then there's purging, where you just consume food, and then there's purging and binging, which is bulimia. So it's basically the same thing. But I have a purging disorder where I continuously, I'm getting it more under control now. I still have my times where I still do it, and it's very hard for me to say that. It really is hard for me to be like, I have a purging disorder where I would eat and eat and eat and eat until it hurt, because that's how I would deal with my emotions. I couldn't deal with anything. I was having anxiety. I was having depression. And it's been really difficult. And I have not been diagnosed by a therapist at all. but I have self-diagnosed myself with it because everything I read up on, heard about it, you know, it's been what, like, exactly like what I have been going through. Sorry, there's rumbling again. The camera is shaking. Girl, are we witnessing an earthquake? We might be. It's fine. We'll continue. I'm just kidding. It's probably just the train. I'm sorry, guys. I'm paranoid AF today. But anyway, so I'm like trying to see if the camera's still shaking. Girl, watch it. Watch it. Anyway, so it has been a journey getting myself to a point where I don't purge anymore, or binge. I think I was saying that backwards. It's where you binge, so you binge eat. Yeah, so it's binging. I am so sorry. So let me correct myself on that. I meant to say binging, not purging, because purging means to vomit. And so yeah, I have a binging disorder where I just eat and eat and eat and I don't like throw it up at all. I've never once been curious. Well, okay, I take that back. I've been curious a few times because when I've gotten myself to the point where I feel like I'm gonna throw up, or not really throw up, but to the point where it really hurts after I've eaten, I've thought about throwing up, but like I knew if I did that, it would not be good. So I've never done that. Thank God. But eating disorders are a very hard thing to live with because it is an everyday battle. It's not, I wouldn't really label it as an addiction. It's more or less just something to help you cope. It's a coping skill, but that's what they label drug use as sometimes. So, but you just got to be really self-aware. And Jeffree Star has mentioned this in some of his Snapchat videos, and like a lot of like health professionals and stuff like that, like on YouTube and stuff like that, have mentioned just like you really do have to check in with yourself once a day, if not more. Like if you're feeling off, or if you're feeling anxious, or if something just does not feel right with you, you have to check in with yourself. And especially if you're someone that deals with like an addiction problem or like an eating disorder or like any type of like thing that is like not a healthy coping skill, you really have to be careful and very, very self-aware, because I have slipped up and I have binged quite a bit, and it's really hard for me to resist temptation. But when it's weird because when I'm at work, I eat so good. Like I eat when I'm supposed to be eating, because I'll usually eat like a very small burrito and I'll eat a lettuce wrap and some fruits. And then after I work out and everything, I will have some like a very small portion of nuts for protein, because after you work out, your body needs like it not needs, but it really craves protein, and so you have to like find things that are healthy protein. But then when I am not working, it's like, it's really hard for me to stick to like my set diet, and my weight fluctuates when I'm home. Now, there are some times like when you really will need to seek professional help with this stuff, because sometimes people really cannot do this stuff on their own. Like some people really don't know how to develop coping skills, and it's hard. I could not imagine that. And sorry, I'm trying to adjust my leg. Anyway. But it has really been like a struggle developing good coping skills. Because a lot of the time I would just really prefer. And okay, so right there, how I adjusted myself, and I don't like people to see my body and like what it looks like, because I'm still like very uncomfortable with like what I look like now. But I have lost 40 pounds doing like the diet that I'm doing. And it has not been easy. Clock's about to go off. I would edit this out of the video, but I don't really like to edit my videos, and I don't have that capability at this time, so just give it a minute. There will be 7 chimes for 7 p.m., ladies and gents. One, two, three, four. So the clock you guys hear, that's my my grandfather actually made that clock, and it's called the grandfather clock. So put that together, and he gave it to each of my aunts and uncles. So it's pretty cool. I love that clock so much. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about. So yeah, I've lost 40 pounds with what I've been doing. And I'm not saying that I have defeated this demon that I am dealing with, because I still do have my times where I binge. And I've been feeling really like out of it, and I usually feel that way when I've been, I don't know if it's like a self-sabotaging thing that happens, but when I've been feeling really good for a while, and like I've been feeling healthy and everything, I just start feeling anxious, and I feel like it's very self-sabotaging what I'm doing. Because it's like I started sitting there, and this even was happening last week, where I was sitting there waiting for things to get shit again, like with everything, like with work, with my marriage, with everything, because I was going through a period like beginning of June, like end of May, where like things were getting extremely shitty with my friends, and I had to cut people out. And it's like it just comes in a very aggressive cycle. So it's like I just kind of sit there waiting for like shit to get bad again, and it's not healthy. And so I binge, and and I have been finding really healthy coping skills, but sometimes the binging seems like way more appealing, and it's what's comfortable. And I'm not trying to sit here to be a preacher, but I'm just saying, like, being very self-aware is something you really have to do, especially if you're wanting to try to do this on your own and get healthy, because it's a struggle. This would be so easy for me to get help from a therapist, or to check myself into, like, because in Utah, somewhere near me, I know that they have a place where girls that struggle with like binging disorders and stuff like that, they like get them to like check in for like a few months, and then they help them get their health on track. And actually, my sister, she tried to sign me up for that type of therapy. Tried to get my health back on the line. Like, this was when I was like 19, and I'm 23 now, but she really tried to get my health back on track that way. And it was something I did not agree with. And I'm not saying that anybody who does that is like bad, or it's like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for me, that is not personally a journey that I want to go down. This is something that I want to defeat myself, because I feel like for me personally, like, I will come out of things better if I try and do this and defeat this myself. And it's never a bad thing to ask for help. It really is not a bad thing to ever ask for help, because my husband, I've asked him for help so many times. And but learning to rely on yourself and learning to teach yourself how to take care of yourself is like one of the most rewarding things. And so going back to the Eugenia Cooney situation, and I'm not trying to compare myself to her, because every journey is so different. Like, yeah, it's kind of in the same category, but like it's nothing alike. And I mean, it's like I could never imagine never eating, and I bet it's the same for her. I bet she could never imagine overeating, you know? It's very, I don't know if I would say diverse. It's just very different. Like, very, very different. And even people who have binging disorders, it's completely different for everybody, like how they do their thing. But anyway, so yeah, going back to that. So, you know, I really did not follow Eugenia Cooney at all. And um and then I had seen a video that that one of her old friends, Jacqueline, had posted on YouTube, because it had come up in, well, actually one of my coworkers had told me about it. And I actually went and I watched it, and it was so sad to hear, you know, that you know, they had to pretty much force Eugenia into doing what she did. But Eugenia, like, decided to stay an extra month after they had said she could go home. And so, you know, like, I want to believe that she's getting better. I really do. But I don't know. It's really hard to say. And I can't speak for her. I don't know her. I don't know her journey, and I don't know her as a person. So it's like I can't talk for her. But, and also, like, after watching that video, there's someone in my life that I really feel like might have a problem, kind of like Eugenia's, because I had seen her, I don't know, because I used to know this girl when I was younger, and we recently, a year ago, reconnected, and her health has really gone down the drain, and she's very skinny and frail. Like, you can really see, like, her bones sticking out in her knees, and, like, it's bad. And so I get very concerned now that I've seen that. And so you just gotta be so aware of everything, guys. It's not a joke. If you really feel like somebody is suffering with something, you know, be friendly about it, you know? Like, try to reach out and make sure that everyone's okay, because we've got to watch out for each other. With the type of world and the shit that we live in, it is so hard for anybody to, like, trust anyone. So if you see someone struggling, reach out. Say, like, become friends with them, you know? Like, just don't try to, like, force it, but, like, try and help them get better, you know? Try to let them know that they are there, and that they are loved. And same for yourself. Like, you guys are all loved so much by people you probably don't think love you, but they love you. You just really gotta look deep down inside and realize that you do have people around you that love you. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this video because it's kind of getting a little long, but thank you so much for everybody who watched, and you guys have a great weekend and a great new week. Goodbye, my little Ems&Ems.